What is happening, boys and girls? Jim here, RC80. Today is Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. We are back out at the rock pile here for some round 2 testing with the Axial SCX10 early 4 Bronco. Now, I've done some modifications to the Bronco since our last video. I added some Treal brass steering knuckles on the front end, as well as some Treal brass 12mm by 10mm wheel hex spacers. So we're spacing out our wheels 10mm further on each side, giving us a total of 20mm of extra width all the way around. Now I also changed out the wheels, going from our stock plastic wheels with a set of Red Cat Gen 8 or Gen 7 Interco IROCs, and remounted those IROCs onto these aluminum wheels. Now these aluminum wheels I've had kicking around for several years now, and just haven't had a vehicle that they would fit onto. Now we're going to put links in the video down below. Once again, we're in a partnership program with Amy and Hobbies and Avant Link, so we'll put in links down below for the Treal stuff, for the wheel hex spacers and the steering knuckles. But as far as these wheels go, I don't recommend these wheels. I'm not too sure where I got them from, but the back spacing, or not the back spacing, but the gap in between the inner bead ring here is so narrow that it doesn't work with most steering knuckles and most four-wheel drive vehicles. So this is the only vehicle that we've actually had these wheels on, the only vehicle that they would fit on, without putting an extremely wide wheel hex spacer on here. So we're running a 10mm wheel hex spacer on here currently, and that is the only way that I can clear these wheels. The width isn't too bad overall. It's about perfect for the overall width. Doesn't look too terrible. And added a lot of weight to the front end with those Treal parts. So we're currently running on the Spectrum 4000 milliamp 3S LiPo. And we will leave links down below. Once again, we're in a partnership program with Amy and Hobbies and Avant Link. So we'll leave links down below for all the items listed here today. Truck is definitely a lot heavier up front. There's no doubt about that. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I lowered the pinion gear on the motor drastically. Went from a 14 tooth down to an 11 tooth. And 11 is as small as you can go. So the smallest pinion gear that you can get on here. Trying to give it as much low end snap as we can get to compensate for the extra weight of these wheels and the extra weight from the wheel hexes and the brass steering knuckles up front. Still running the battery across the back, just in front of the rear wheels. Stock location. I was thinking about running a smaller 3S LiPo at 2200 milliamp and running it underneath the driver's seat, which would have been a little bit better. Right now I think we're fighting the weight of the battery over the back axle, or in front of the back axle. It's making the approach a lot better than it previously did, just because of that extra weight up front. And the 9-tooth pinion gear, or 11-tooth pinion gear, is definitely crawling better. More low end snap. It sounds like the pitch is a little bit, like the mesh isn't right on there with that pinion gear, but you can't mess it up. It's just like a TRX4, where the motor plate has set positions for different pinion gears, different sizes. And we've got it set for the 11-tooth. Right now we're at bumpers grabbing. Gearing sounds a little bit gritty though. Not gonna lie, it does sound a little bit weird. Like the mesh isn't quite right. Could be the wheels. Might be rubbing. Definitely hear the tires trying to grab. All that extra weight. And I think we're gonna roll it. Not careful. Extra weight's keeping us on the ground. Sorry about the camera angles, boys and girls. I'm trying to look at the truck. Under time constraints as well. Last nice day here in fall. Trying to do lawn cleanups and stuff in around RC stuff. It just rained last night. Rained this morning. I should be out doing leaf cleanups today, but the wind is really whipping today. And it's kind of preventing me from doing that stuff. Back in my mind, I'm thinking I should be working right now and not doing this. That might be affecting our crawl. Oh, she's having trouble making it in here. I don't like that rear battery position once again. It would be much better if we ran the battery right up the center of the chassis. Probably should have ran the 2000 milliamp 3S LiPo. Side saddle one right underneath the driver's seat. We'd have less runtime, but we'd also have less weight over the back end. And it would be more balanced out side to side. She's not wanting to make it in. Not here, that's for sure. I don't think we could make it in here last time either. I'm trying to turn this Axial SCX10 into a good vehicle, but it's just really not working out pretty good. Out of all the crawlers we have, the Ascenders definitely crawl better than the Axial. There's no doubt about it. But Axial's still in business. And Ascender's not. But we've made it in here with some of the Ascenders. The K10, my niece's K10 made it straight in. First shot, first try. Our brother's Suburban made it right in as well. I'm also filming from behind the camera, so I'm not getting a good line on where my traction's at here. There we go. Oh, don't go back that way. We got our front axle snagged on the differential and then reversed it and lost our crawl. Hanging on the front edge of that tire. Passenger tire. Decided to proceed forward instead of backing up. Steering servo not very strong here. We're running that stock steering servo. I can tell right now that we're going to need to upgrade that to something stronger. Only so much money in the budget, you know. It's a bummer. Got other vehicles that need stronger steering servos as well. It's going to be a priority thing here. Priority in trying to shift money around. I'm also trying to fix my SCX24 Jeep JLU CRC, which had a motor failure recently, which is a very common thing with those Axial SCX24s. The stock motors just don't last, unfortunately. Shame on Axial. You would expect those motors to at least last a year, if not longer, but they do not. My TRX4 Bronco, for instance, different style motor, obviously has a 21 turn reverse rotation 550. But I'm running on that stock motor since I bought the vehicle in 2019 or 2018. We've got many miles on it, several miles on that vehicle, actual miles. And it's just been running for years. Every video we've done with that Bronco is on that stock motor, and it's still going strong. I mean, it's getting close to needing to be replaced, but still not bad for what it is. Axial SCX10 I know there's a totally different motor once again, a lot smaller, but the brushes just don't last, or the motors just don't last. I'm assuming the brushes go out. Either way, Axial needs to address that, or should have addressed that a long time ago. Steering servos aren't the best either on the SCX24s. They usually go out pretty quick. And sometimes you have problems with the ESC/receiver, which is another issue. I really like the SCX24s, but they work great out of the gate generally. But they're riddled with problems, really, until you start upgrading them. And then once you start upgrading them, then you're okay. But you pretty much have to invest the same amount that you did initially for the vehicle, like another $130 or $160 to really make it a solid vehicle. Not that it's bad investing into them, but you shouldn't have to do that with a ready-to-run vehicle right out of the gate. They're trying to crawl their way in here, and it's not working out so good. 10 minutes gone by. Our steering servo is part of the problem. It's not strong enough. We're bobbling on these rocks. Tires are definitely rubbing on something. I can hear that. We're back in this groove again. All right, we made it out of there the first time. Come on, baby. A little bit of wheel spin, maybe. Nope. We keep falling down into a hole for that passenger side rear tire. One way or the other, I think we have to go straight. If we can. We might roll it over, but it's not going the way we want to go, which is to the left. Right back in that same hole again. Okay, keep left, baby. It's definitely been a challenging crawl so far. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. You make it over this gap here. Got the back tire approaching this hole right there. Front tire drop off on the other side. We're falling into that hole. Back axle's getting snagged on the differential. Oh boy. We're leaning pretty good. Or you're staring at a rock pile down there. Cutting hard right. Oh, we're leaning on the rocks. Almost. Now we just made contact. Oh. I want to go right, but I have to go straight in order to go straight, in order to continue forward. If it wasn't for this rock over here on the side, we'd be rolled over right now. I think we're going to go towards the roll over here unless we can get our front end to spin back around here. Put our back bumper on this rock behind us. Definitely a challenging crawl, no doubt about that. Pros and cons to the weight on the front. Excuse me. Pardon me. Tickle on my throat here from talking for so long. Pros and cons with the weight. Sometimes it drags you downhill. Sometimes it helps you. Definitely have to lower the gearing to compensate for it. And we are stuck on our belly pan. Turtle, turtle. So we can inch our way forward. Oh, don't go down that way. That is not a good way to go. Got hard left. Back tires about dropping the canyon down here. Oh, snag on the back bumper. Oh, we made it. That is a challenging crawl. 312 or 313 millimeter wheelbase. I mean, I really want to like this truck. I really do. But it doesn't really crawl very good. The weight's certainly keeping it down to the ground, but the Ascenders definitely crawl better. They don't have as much low-end power, but man, they just handle it so much better. We're stuck. We are stuck. Only place we're going is towards a rollover here. First hand to God. Oh, wow, I think it's really heavy. Set it down and it just sags the suspension. Yeah, I'm just not very impressed with this truck. Too bad. Put a lighter body on there and that'd be better. We're losing that scale appearance, but it's not all that to begin with. They could have did a little bit better job on the scaleness. The seats are upside down. The driver's sitting on the backrest and not the seat. I don't know who put those in there. That's not right. At least they got it right on the Jeeps. Yeah, this thing is not too happy today out here. I like the gearing difference. I like the 11 tooth versus the 14 tooth that was on here previously, the stock gear. Initially, I dropped it down to a 12 tooth, but I ordered an 11 tooth at the same time. And before I got a chance to run it with the 12 tooth, the 11 tooth showed up, so I figured I would just preemptively drop it down because I knew this thing needed a serious gearing change since this last time out here. Got a back bumper snag back here in the back corner, passenger side. Knuckle's not looking so good. I think it did better the last time it was out here with no weight in it. And the plastic wheels and the different wheel hexes on here, stock wheel hexes. Which is another goofy thing about these vehicles, the SCX10 3s, is on the back axle they use the straight axle vehicles. It uses a spacer in between the wheel hex and the axle, and the rear axle, but it doesn't on the front. There's only a certain wheel hexes that fit this. When I first started doing this whole swap over here, I put some Samex wheel hexes on there because the Treals were out of stock. And the Samex's ones work okay on the back, but they won't work on the front because they've got a flange sticking off the back of the wheel hex. They must be meant for the portal axles, I'm assuming. But they have a flange on all four wheel hexes, and they only really need the flange on the back wheel hex and not on the front. And if you use the stock spacer that comes on the axle, behind the wheel hex, you won't have to use a flange at all. Because that's what that spacer is there for. It takes up the gap. This thing is a terrible crawler. And now we're making it. Okay. Terrible. It looks more realistic with all that weight on there, but I don't think it's really helped us in crawling ability, that's for darn sure. We got a front end jammed up. I'd definitely be better off with a lighter vehicle up here and this stuff. Overall weight. It's good to have weight in certain places to keep the vehicle on the ground, of course. Just no need to overdo it because you still got to sling that weight over top of the obstacles. About getting that weight perfect. Approaching a straight up rock here. Straight up approach. It might be better with the stock tires out here in the rocks, which were some Falcon Wild Peaks, I want to say, but the tread padding was closer together, maybe a little bit more rock friendly versus these Interco rocks. I say that, and let me make it over. Looking at our transmitter here at our battery life, and we're 4 bars flashing to 3 occasionally. 4 bars off the gas, 3 bars on the gas when we're putting it under a load. We're just out here with the Axial Bomber, the Axial Bummer. I do not like the Axial Bomber. That thing's not a good crawler either. More of a rock racer supposedly, but I really just don't like it. Don't like the way it drives. Oh, so close to a rollover here. The Axial Bomber, yeah, I think it's more of a bummer than a bomber. Or maybe a bomber in the way that it's just sucks. Maybe that's why they didn't make it for very long. Just like this one, they kind of discontinued it quick. Oh, we're gonna fall off the edge of this. Oh, it's gonna be painful. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up, boys and girls, before she falls off. Hand to God, it's a bummer. Don't like doing that. Yeah, the weight is taking us downhill right now. You're getting taken off this rock with all that extra weight. And he says Red Cat Gen 8 crawls this like a boss. Custom Red Cat Gen 8. Shortened wheelbase and long travel suspension. This thing not so good. Not so good. Certainly looks more realistic, I tell you that, with that weight in the front, but still. Oh, racing against the clock as well, boys and girls, so try to keep that in mind. Racing against the clock and time constraints, as well as knowing that I need to be doing something else at this point in time. Not driving this truck. Only saving grace is that it's windy today. Too many to fight the wind. The wind keeps switching directions here in the woods. Which means if you're going to do long cleanups and stuff, it's tough to fight. When the wind's blowing one way and you're going with the wind, and then the next thing you know, it's blowing in your face. And you turn around, and the next thing you know, it's back in your face again. You can't fight that. It gets very maddening. And you end up taking God's name in vain about 100,000 times in about an hour and a half. It's just not worth the fight. The headache. We are stuck. Ah, man. Axial Bronco. A little bit of a bummer, too. It'd be nice if we could turn this thing into a good crawler one day. I'm pretty pleased in knowing that I just finished investing about $65 or $70 into the truck, and it doesn't do any better than it did the last time. soon as I say that, I make it through, right? Don't like that rear battery location either. I know Axial probably put it in that location just to make it easier to get the body on there, perhaps. Body placement, but certainly not doing the vehicle any favors in the crawling world. Bumper contact. Get snagged up here on our bumper, front tire. Time constraints. Making our way towards Twin Peaks, and I don't think we're going to be able to climb it. We'll give it a try. Only been a couple vehicles that have made it through these peaks so far. Red Cat Gen 8, the custom Red Cat Gen 8 Jeep Comanche was one of them. It's running on 1.9-inch tires as well, so it's not like it's all that special. Doesn't have a bunch of brass weight in it, I can tell you that. It doesn't have any brass weight in it. It's stuck. Holding our tire over here on the driver's side front. Pardon my shadow. Back bumper stuck here. And we're folding the tire right off the wheel. Down in a serious hole. Steering servo doesn't have enough to really compensate for it. Oh, she's making it a little bit. Teeter point. Keep going, baby. Maybe we can flip it and get it up and over. Oh. Oh. There's a lucky bounce. Maybe. Maybe not. We might be really stuck here. Oh boy. This is a real world scenario. You'd be SOL, buddy. We're stuck. We bounced it up in there. And now we're stuck. Hmm. We are stuck. We need a winch, and we don't have a winch. Bummer. I hate to do this, boys and girls. We gotta pull it forward. Oh yeah. She's stuck in there good. Front bumper snagged on the rock. Back tire's trying to climb over a rock. About to roll it over sideways on the passenger side. Head hard left or right. Oh, there we go. We did need a hand of guide. Can't remember how many hands of guides we got on this thing so far. One or two at least. And we're going to work our way back out of here. If we can. Old Axial Bronco was a little bit of a bummer too. Just like the Axial Bomber. So that Axial Bomber is a serious bummer. At least out here on the rocks. Its size is its only saving grace. All right, boys and girls, that is going to do it here with our Axial SCX10 early Ford Bronco. Once again, we have a bunch of Treal upgrades on here with our 10mm wheel hex spacers and brass steering knuckles. Definitely added to the vehicle's weight, that's for sure, up front, no doubt about it. Probably gives us a little bit more steering angle on it, perhaps. But not sure if it's helping us out here on the rocks. She certainly is weighty. It's a weighty vehicle, very heavy. Lowering the pinion gear down once again from a 14 down to an 11 was very helpful. I like the way it crawls with that 11-tooth pinion gear. If it had a 2-speed transmission, then that would work out pretty good as well. Help counterbalance things. But overall, I'm not too sure if that brass weight really helped us out here at the end of the day. I don't know if I'd really rush out to go buy any. Maybe to help out your situation for balancing things out, it might. But on this thing, I'm not too sure if it was really an improvement or a hindrance. Because we still have to sling that weight up and over top of rocks, along with the weight of the vehicle. So I'm not too sure if I like it or not. Definitely on the fence about this vehicle altogether. The Axial SCX10 early Ford Bronco. Once again, I really want to like this vehicle. It's a cool truck. It looks cool. I like the body style. It's just a shame that it's not that good of a crawler. Like a different body on here. If you get rid of this body, get rid of all the plastic cladding and all that extra weight that's hanging on the upper half of it, it probably wouldn't be too bad. But otherwise, good trail truck, but maybe not a rock crawler. Well, that's going to do it, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all stick around and watching the video. Once again, links down below for all applicable items, and we will see you all on the next one.